You gave her your best, your time, your energy, your loyalty. But it wasn't enough. She walked away without hesitation. And now, you're left questioning everything. You lie awake replaying every moment, trying to figure out how the woman you loved could suddenly treat you like a stranger. But I'm here to tell you something no one else will. She didn't leave you because you weren't enough. She left you because she saw a version of you that you allowed to exist. This isn't your ending. This is the beginning of the version of you she'll never be able to replace. If you're ready to stop mourning and start mastering, then watch this video to the very end, because the man you're about to become is the man she'll beg to come back, but you won't want her anymore. Number 1. She left because you were too available. Let's be honest with ourselves. Being too available isn't a sign of devotion. It's a signal of lost boundaries, of a man who's given so much access that he no longer holds any mystery or challenge. When you hand her the keys to your time, energy, and emotions without hesitation, you unintentionally send the message that you're not a prize to be won, but a convenience to be used. The deeper truth here is that value isn't about quantity. It's about quality, scarcity, and self-respect. Women, like all people, are wired to seek those who bring something unique and irreplaceable into their world, not someone who's just there on demand. Think about it like this. Have you ever chased after a limited edition item that you thought was extraordinary, only to realize it became worthless the moment it was in everyone's hands? That's what happens when you become too available. Your value depreciates in her eyes. For instance, imagine canceling plans with your friends. Every time she wants to talk or rushing to respond instantly no matter what you're doing. Sure, you're being there for her, but in reality, you're creating predictability, comfort, and safety. And in relationships, comfort kills desire. The woman you loved didn't crave a slave to her whims. She craved a man with a life, a purpose, and boundaries that commanded respect. Marcus Aurelius taught us that a man must be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands firm and round, and the waves break themselves upon it. A man grounded in his mission doesn't bend to every demand or call. He values his time and himself, and that creates a powerful aura that draws others in, not pushes them away. Losing your center means losing that rock-solid essence. When you stop being the man who lives for himself first, who pursues his own goals relentlessly, you become predictable, controllable, and ultimately forgettable. That's why she left. Not because you weren't good enough, but because you stopped being the man she had to work to win. And a woman's attraction thrives on challenge, not comfort. Number 2, you confused loyalty with value. Loyalty is often glorified as the highest virtue in relationships. You stayed faithful, stood by her side, and treated her like a queen. You thought that by giving her everything, your time, your attention, your unwavering support, you were proving your worth. But here's the brutal truth most men never grasp. Loyalty alone means nothing if it's not paired with undeniable value. Loyalty without value is like a castle with no foundation. It looks impressive at first, but it will crumble under pressure. The deeper philosophical meaning here is that loyalty should flow from strength and abundance, not scarcity and desperation. If your loyalty is born out of fear, fear of being alone, fear of losing her, it signals neediness, and women instinctively feel that energy. It's not love they see, it's weakness. Think about a man you've known who is loyal, yes, but because he's the only option on the table. His loyalty is quiet, almost invisible, because it lacks the fire that comes from choice. Contrast that with the man who walks his own path, who has options but chooses discipline and commitment, not out of need, but out of power. Women aren't impressed by a man who clings because he's scared of losing her. They're drawn to a man who could walk away at any moment because he values himself more than he values her approval. Real life example? Maybe it's that guy who doesn't text back instantly, who isn't glued to his phone waiting for her reaction, or the man who's grinding daily on his goals, focused on his mission, and lets her chase him because he refuses to be consumed by her presence or absence. This is the kind of loyalty that turns heads, loyalty rooted in strength, not dependency. Marcus Aurelius taught us that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Loyalty that springs from your core values, your purpose, and your self-respect is a force that doesn't just weather storms. It grows stronger through them. The moment you make her the center of your universe, you sacrifice your sovereignty and invite emotional quicksand. She senses your need like a predator smells fear. She doesn't want a man who needs her to breathe. She wants a man who breathes fire regardless of her presence. That fire is what ignites desire. So don't just be loyal. Be valuable. Be the man whose loyalty is a rare prize, earned from a foundation so solid that no other man can rival it. When you stand tall in your purpose, you don't just keep a woman's love, you become irreplaceable. And that's power few men ever truly understand. Number 3, she wanted to feel something and you went numb. At the start, you were the spark, the fire that lit up her world. You made her laugh in ways no one else could. You left her curious, wondering what you'd do next, and chasing that electrifying feeling of uncertainty and excitement. You were unpredictable, magnetic, alive. But somewhere along the way, you traded that energy for routine. You stopped being the man she felt drawn to and became the man she simply expected, the man she took for granted. Comfort replaced challenge. Predictability replaced mystery. And availability replaced value. This is the silent killer of attraction. A slow fade from vibrant presence into dull predictability. Most men mistake stability for safety and think being consistent is enough to keep a woman. But here's the cold truth. Women crave emotion first and foremost. They want to feel something, not just safe, but alive. It's why she might run to a man who isn't the perfect boyfriend, who stirs chaos, uncertainty, or raw passion, even if it's messy. Stability without passion is like food without flavor. It fills the belly but starves the soul. If you become the safe harbor she's already anchored in, her heart will quietly sail toward the storm. Stoicism teaches us that true strength isn't about suppressing emotion, but mastering it, channeling it so it moves like a powerful current beneath a calm surface. Marcus Aurelius reminded us to be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands firm and tames the fury around it. Real masculinity is this balance, a controlled force that commands attention without needing to shout. When you dull your emotional energy in the name of being stable, you're not embodying strength. You're fading into the background, becoming invisible to her desire. And when that happens, her attention slips away, not because you failed in love, but because you stopped being the man who makes her feel alive. Number 4, she was a test and you failed. Every relationship, every woman who crosses your path isn't a prize waiting to be claimed. It's a challenge, a test of your character and your core. She's not simply there to be admired or collected. Like a trophy, she's a mirror reflecting your strengths and weaknesses, a measuring stick for your masculine frame. This is the battlefield where your true self is revealed, not by how much you give or how hard you try, but by how deeply you stand your ground when the pressure comes. Think about it like this. When she starts pulling away, she's watching closely to see if you'll crumble or hold steady. When the subtle cracks in the relationship begin to show, she's paying attention to whether your purpose remains unshaken or if you'll lose yourself trying to patch things up. Real strength isn't about brute force or surface charm. It's about mental resilience, emotional discipline, and unyielding self-respect. Can you keep your values intact when she challenges them? Can you walk away without looking back when those values are compromised? That's the ultimate test. If you fail, if you prioritize her validation over your own integrity, she will leave. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because you made it easy for her to. You might feel abandoned when she walks away, but here's the brutal truth. You abandoned yourself long before she did. When she withdrew her affection, you chased her. When she disrespected your boundaries, you made excuses. When she offered less, you gave more. Every step backward was a silent surrender of your masculine frame. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change." But he never said to sacrifice your core self for someone else's fleeting feelings. The man a woman respects is the one who leads with his standard, who refuses to beg for approval or validation. You're not a reflection of her desire, you're the source of it. Remember, women don't stay for the man who chases them. They stay for the man who stands firm long after the chase is over. Number 5. You were trying to win her instead of winning in life. This is the moment where most men get it wrong, and it's brutal but necessary to hear. The battle you think you're fighting, the battle to get her back, is not the real fight. The true war is with yourself. Trying to claw your way back into her life is like trying to reclaim a shadow you once cast in the sunlight. The woman who left isn't the prize you should chase. She's the reminder that your focus was misplaced. The real victory lies in becoming a man so strong, so complete, so unreachable that she can no longer touch you, even if she wanted to. You must become the man who is no longer available for emotional bargaining, the man who has evolved beyond the need for validation from anyone outside himself. Think about the nights spent scrolling through her messages, analyzing every word, every pause, every missed reply. You replay scenarios, dissect texts, and hope for signs she's thinking of you. But every second you waste, there is energy stolen from the war you should be fighting inside. You're spending your power on a choice she made, a door she closed, while the real door, the one leading to your future, is standing wide open but ignored. This is not just advice, it's a red pill for your soul. Your mission is no longer to be loved or even understood by her. It's to be respected by yourself. And respect is earned in silence, discipline, and relentless forward motion, not in desperate words or clinging to what's lost. Here's the Stoic truth Marcus Aurelius would remind you of. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The man she left behind was a man ruled by his emotions, reactive, ungrounded, searching for meaning in her absence. But the man you're becoming is calm, focused, and radiates a quiet power that can't be ignored. It's not about muscles or money alone. It's about how you show up in every moment. The man who wakes up before dawn, who pushes through pain in the gym and life, who speaks less but says more with his presence, who earns respect by demanding more from himself every day. That man is dangerously attractive. He is a force of nature that no woman can forget because he lives by a code no one else understands. And here's the emotional punch. This transformation isn't about her approval. It's about burying the version of you who tolerated disrespect, who settled for less, who begged for scraps of attention. That man is dead. You owe it to yourself to never resurrect him. You're not just building a better body or career, you're forging a new identity. One that doesn't need her validation because it commands respect by simply existing. When you live like this, you don't have to chase anyone. The chase ends, and the prize becomes you. That is winning. That is freedom. Final message. Don't reclaim her. Reclaim yourself. This moment you're in right now. It's not about revenge or getting even. It's about something far deeper, rebirth. When a woman leaves, it feels like a fracture in your world. But the truth is, she didn't steal from you. She stripped away the illusion and revealed the real man beneath. The one you forgot existed, buried beneath neediness, doubt, and pain. This isn't a loss, it's an awakening. The pain you feel is the forge where a stronger, sharper version of yourself is created. You don't need to chase what walked away. You need to rise for yourself, because true power isn't found in reclaiming someone else's affection, but in reclaiming your own identity and strength. Think about every man you know who has been left behind. Maybe it was you. Maybe it was a brother or friend. What separates those who crumble from those who rise is simple perspective. One man spirals down, drowning in the memory of what he lost. The other channels that same pain into a hunger for growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The woman who left isn't your obstacle, she's your path. She forced you to confront who you truly are, not the version of yourself that bends to please or chase. The man who respects himself first doesn't waste time begging for scraps. He stands tall because he knows his value comes from within, not from the fleeting approval of another. Now, here's the choice laid bare before you. You can stay broken, replaying every moment, obsessed with a woman who didn't see your worth. Or you can rise and become the man who, when he looks in the mirror, sees a warrior forged by hardship. Not because of what he gave to her, but because of what he gave back to himself. Discipline, dignity, and unshakable self-respect. This isn't just self-improvement. This is self-mastery. It's the moment you stop chasing and start commanding. When you embrace this truth, it changes everything. She'll feel it. Your absence, your strength. The world will feel it. And you'll never chase again, because now you are the prize. Not because she told you so, but because you know it deep in your bones.